When
Oh
I came
yeah,
back,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You absolutely.
yeah, like when I came back, I just kind of looked at things and I was like, the stuff like the cars and the
What
stuff
do I
like
do?
that, it's not important. It's like, yeah, it's like material. It's really not that important. It doesn't mean a whole lot.
Not
You
really.
know,
No.
you didn't look at it like
Take
that?
one day at a time. At
Okay,
my age, it's just one day at a time now.
I understand. I understand.
But I am still doing my own bookkeeping.
You're sharp, I'm telling you. And you got a good solid handshake. You're still strong. I'm telling you, for 96, we'll call you 96.
Well, that's
Yeah.
very close.
I mean, yeah, we're pretty darn close.
we're
Yeah,
right next door.
yeah, we'll say 96. You're still trucking along. For
Yeah, it's kind of slow, but I'm trucking.
I know, but I wish you would take it easy a little bit. And I don't want
Oh, I
to.
do.
I don't want to hear you. I don't want your granddaughter calling me, telling me that you fell down or anything like that. Inspecting
Yeah,
the
I
plumbing.
don't want her to call you and tell you that either.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah. Okay. So so this one's off the beaten path, but you're of the right age. So I just got a question,
Okay.
and this is back in the day. If you saw a girl or something like that, how did you know? And I guess I'm talking about a little bit on the how we look at things and how a man is supposed to approach a woman. And back in the day, how was it done? Like, I had this talk with my son. And as a dad, it's kind of like you're worried because something that can be very innocent, back in the 40s. You remember the Navy guy, the Navy sailor that kissed the woman? On the Time magazine?
On television.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
right? These days it'd be sexual harassment.
Oh, absolutely.
They didn't know each other. So back then, I'm just kind of curious, and if the viewer wants to fast forward, but how did how did that happen? Where like if you saw someone and you're like, I'd like to talk to you or ask you out.
Well, let me put it this way. I will tell you about my wife. During a air raid, German bombers were overhead, and they were dropping flares and getting ready to give us little firecrackers. And the shore patrol come by and told me and the fellow I was with to get in a safe house. And not long after, military police come by and said, "Are you two guys idiots or not? Those are airplanes up there." "Yeah." "Well, they're going to drop bombs on you in a minute." "Oh, get in a safe house."
Mm-hmm.
So we got in a safe house. Went through the double doors, not to let any light out so Jerry could find out where one house was, where
Mm-hmm.
people were in. And we walked in the building, and I told Bill, I said, "You see that gal sitting down there in that window seat?" He said, "Yeah. I'm going to get me a sandwich and a cup of tea and go down there and meet her."
And she was what she was English.
She was in the English Navy. She was a paymaster.
Oh, what?
A paymaster.
What is that?
She's the one who doled out your money. They didn't write your checks or put it
Okay.
in your bank. They give it to you in cash.
Oh, so she was dispersing. Okay,
She was a paymaster.
got it. Paymaster. Okay.
I got her picture right over there. It's behind the keyboard. It's behind that keyboard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you and your son take a look at that. Jerry.
Yes, sir. We sure. Yep, I see it. I
So
see it.
anyway, we hit it off pretty good, and I got to visiting with her, and had a few dates with her when I could get off base and get, 36 hours was a good date. 72 was much better. But anyway, and I got acquainted with her family, and her grandmother was an absolute jewel.
Mm-hmm.
She alerted the family if anybody's coming down the street, because they live one half block off of a main drag in Weston Supermare.
Mm-hmm.
And Grandma always made sure that they knew I was in the neighborhood. But after the war, she came over here, we got married, and we spent 57 beautiful years together.
That's wonderful. That's really.
And even today, although she's been gone now for 17 years, I still miss her. Talk to her picture on my desk.
Mm-hmm.
because I was in, when I come back, I worked and then I got my licenses, contractor's licenses. And her and my daughter-in-law were my bookkeepers. They run the office.
Makes sense.
I run the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Still miss her.
Yeah.
Today now.
Yeah. 56 years.
No, 57.
57
Don't
years.
cut me short.
I won't. What do you think was so? We're way off topic here.
I know we are. You said we were going to get off topic.
Yeah, yeah. I get distracted by anything. Let me ask you though. What do you think was? What do you think contributed to 57 years of marriage? That's not by accident.
True love.
There's got to be. I mean,
true love, man.
You just loved her. I mean, was there?
I mean,
was there like a sense of humor? Was she a great cook?
Yeah,
or what were some of the things?
She was a fine woman, and we had a fine family together. All the family is all grown up now. I got great grandchildren.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we all stay in touch with each other.
Let me ask you this. Is there anything that you see in, because back in the day, we always used to hear how Grandma and Grandpa used to stay together so long. I think my parents...
We did.
I think my parents have also been married for a long time.
Man,
But is there anything that you see like in today's society where it's kind of like, well, look, we didn't do it like that you think causes marriages to break down so much earlier?
I don't think they really think about being married.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they don't stop to realize that having somebody to jump in bed with, that's the fun part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of it is, you got to prepare for, if you're going to have a family, they've got to be educated. You got a big responsibility laid on you right quick. The responsibility takes the time to hit, but
yeah,
but it's a big responsibility, and I don't think a lot of the kids today ever think about it sticking.
Was that responsibility told to you as a kid, like, hey, as a family, as a husband, as a man, this is what you have to do, and this is the way you have to act, or was it something that you just had to kind of learn?
My dad and my mother, they taught us.
Mm-hmm.
They both passed away in the same house, not at the same time.
Right.
My mother died 6 years before my father.
Hmm.
But they both died in the same house right here in town.
Hmm. Okay.
And how many years were they married? Oh, brother. Dad died in 75. No, Dad was 75. It was 1976.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was
1
year short of the year.
Okay.
The calendar year.
Mm-hmm.
So they were married, 6 off of that, you'll have to figure it out.
Yeah, right. I understand. Wow, okay. Well, I guess I might as well go ahead and talk about plumbing. I want to keep talking about this, honestly. I think that's more relevant in today.
I got all day. I'm just waiting for that water to heat in there after you fix my thermostat for me.
If Reem sent you the right part.
Oh, incidentally, too.
Yeah.
This would be nice to put on the air.
What's that?
I had a repairman come to the house today.
Oh, don't tell. You don't got to tell my story.
Well, just a minute. Let me tell a story.
Yes, sir. Okay, go ahead.
Had a repairman from the Ream Manufacturing Company come to the house to put me on a new thermostat.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at it, and because he had never seen a recycling plumbing hooked to the water heater,
mm-hmm.
the way
we're circulating,
the circulating
yes,
the hot water,
mm-hmm.
the way we did it, he said, "Oh, I can't handle this."
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, I know a boy in Ventura. He can handle it. I'll just call him. And now I'm waiting on the water to get hot so I can take a shower.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
And I do thank you, too.
Oh, thank you.
I thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Saturday, that's the day you're supposed to be either in figuring plans on the job you're going to hope to get next week in the contract, or laying out who all's going to do what the next week.
Right. Well,
Because in business, I don't think there's a day off.
there's really, I mean, even when I'm off, even when I'm not actually turning a wrench or,
You're not off, you're still thinking.
I'm thinking about it. Yeah. Yeah. Let me ask you, okay, so let me ask you this. When did you get out of plumbing? Or when did you come into plumbing? When did you get out of
I
plumbing? What
got my
years?
contractor's license in 1955.
Okay.
I opened my doors on April the 1st, 1959,
Mm-hmm.
and I closed up my office on December the 31st, 1979.
Okay. So when you were towards the end of your career, did they have ABS yet? ABS pipe?
Oh, yes.
What did you think about ABS pipe when it first came out? Was it going to be like the death of the trade, or was it like
I thought-
received pretty warmly?
This is like Tunerville.
It's what?
It's like Tunerville.
Tunerville.
That's a comic strip. You're too young to
Yeah,
know what it is.
okay. But